What's up? Back with another video. So today, since Resident Evil's out and that's something to really talk about right now, I wanted to talk about two Resident Evil games that when they came out got a lot of hate, a lot of backlash, and most people that are into Resident Evil already know which games I'm probably going to talk about because it's the two games that kind of left a sour taste in some people's mouth. Although not so much for me because I understood why they did it, but basically I want to talk about Resident Evil 5. I got on the PS3, and Resident Evil 6, the most hated Resident Evil game. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna say that just yet, because there's another game that I haven't played yet that's actually the most hated. But so first, I'm gonna talk about both of these. Okay, so actually, I'll mention the other game. That's Umbrella Corps. It was like I think it was a third-person action type game. It's like an arena type game. I never played it. I heard it was god awful. But so besides that, this one's like the most hated as far as following the actual storyline. That was more of a spin-off game. Anyway, so every generation there's a series that slightly changes or really changes. You know, Call of Duty's kind of done it. Battlefield has kind of done it. There's a lot of games that have changed over the past. Sometimes fans accept it, sometimes fans don't. But what, like 7 games in, you know, the actual original story, there's been spin-offs of Resident Evil because there's been a lot of games. So 1, 2, and 3, they all came out. They all followed the same thing. There wasn't really difference in gameplay. It was fixed camera angles. And when 4 came out, they kind of tried something different. And 4 is still my favorite game. And for the most part, it's probably one of my favorite games of all time. And my favorite Resident Evil still. So the community accepted that. What I don't understand is that when 5 came out, it got a lot of backlash at first because the environment was different. It was set in Africa. The camera was quite the same as 4. The biggest difference in 5 and between all the other ones, this is more action based. Where 4, you can kind of tell that they're going more action, but it still kept that survival horror. And with 4, it was the first time where the Resident Evil games kind of branched out and went to different areas of the world that they're living. 1, 2, and 3 was more like you're either in the police department station. The first one, you're in the mansion, you go outside for a bit. It was very contained in that sense, which kind of made it like a good survival horror game. This one, they kind of branched off, obviously. It became more action. Now, for co-op, this is probably one of the best games I've ever played with a friend, so that's saying a lot. If you want a good co-op game, it's great. The story is pretty good. It was just more action, and I didn't mind that. It wasn't better than 4, but I liked the game, and I couldn't say that many bad things about it. Besides some of the AI and the zombies was kind of repetitive, stuff like that. But other than that, it was different, and I accepted it. I was like, all right, this is a different step in the direction that Resident Evil was taking. But so that game was okay. It didn't get that much backlash at first. There were some racist things that were going on. There's like black people or zombies. You had to kill black people. Really ridiculous things. It's not like trying to be racist on purpose. It just happened to be in Africa. And the majority of the population in Africa is black, if you didn't know. So that's just like saying if the game took place in the United States, a lot of people are Caucasian. Not everybody, obviously, but there's certain places in the world. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous that people thought that. So there's some controversy about that, and just the fact that they kind of changed the game a little bit. Not so much. But when 6 came out, this is where which I don't understand, because like, could you imagine if Resident Evil was the same from 1 to 7? If they kept the camera angles, the fixed camera angles, it was just like, with updated graphics, it would get boring after a while. So 5 was a good step in the right direction, although I would like some more horror elements. 6 is where people lost a lot of interest. Now I'm gonna say this. Is this my least favorite Resident Evil game? Probably. Is it bad? No, it's not bad. I've touched on other Resident Evil games in my Resident Evil 7 review and my last Resident Evil 2 remake video, but I want to talk about both of these because this game, I'm just going to say off the bat, the Leon's campaign is probably the best in this game. There's 4 campaigns. If they would have stuck to Leon's campaign, this game probably would have been better than 5 and maybe just as good as 4. Maybe not as good as 4, I'm not saying a lot, but definitely better than 5. But they didn't. They had Wesker's son's campaign, which is, I forgot his name, but it was like combat. All you did is like punch people and stuff for the most part. So that, which had nothing to do with the core gameplay of Resident Evil. So I can understand why people didn't like that. Chris's campaign is a lot more action based, kind of like 5. If you play 5, It was like it's almost like an extension of that. It almost like felt like it could have been DLC. So 5 was great in that regard. But what they did with 6 is Chris's campaign, it was good. It was just a lot more action based. Leon's campaign was more survival horror based. So you had this survival horror based campaign, horror. You had more action with Chris. And you had like off the rails action with Wesker's son, which I didn't agree on. And then you had Ada Wong's campaign, which I never really beat. So they gave you a mixture. They gave you a lot of content for your money, and they gave you DLC. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember. So as far as what you got in this game, there was a lot, and they kind of wanted to please each fan base of like action horror, almost like a lot of people thought they copied Call of Duty, and they wanted to get fans from that franchise. I don't really agree on that. Even in the movies, like there's like action scenes where like Alice is riding a motorbike. In this game, there's like Leon, I think at one point riding a motorbike, and it's like killing enemies. It's very weird. But is this game bad? I don't think it's bad. I think it's more for people that are new to Resident Evil and don't know the past history. I think for the people that have played Resident Evil for a while, I can understand why a lot of people didn't like it. It's not a bad game. Like, the content you're getting is a lot. And, hey, if you only like Leon's campaign, I wouldn't say just buy it for that, because it's a waste of money, obviously. Because the campaigns aren't super long, but there's 4 of them, so it's worth the money. And there's some good parts in this game. There's some intense moments. The boss fights are good. It's still a good game. Like, if I were to rate it out of 10, I'd probably almost give it a 7.5 or 8 out of 10. This one I'd give around an 8.5 out of 10. It's not much better. They're almost the same, but this one takes the edge. So, for all the people that despise this game, I almost want to say there's more good than bad. Just because 2 out of the 4 campaigns wasn't as good as what it should have been, it's still... But then again, like, some people didn't even like Leon's campaign, but it was the darkest one out of these games. It kept the survival horror element, for the most part. If they would have stuck with that, this game would have been great. But they didn't. Because they wanted to please other people. They wanted to try something even more different. I think this game, for the most part, most people just don't like it. It's just like a bad game overall. I don't think it is. So I just don't understand the people that gripe this game so much. Like, there's so much content you're getting. And, like, out of all the Resident Evils, this game has the most content still to this day, as far as I can remember. More than 5, more than 4, I'm pretty sure. Even though 4, I think, was the longest game. But, yeah, Resident Evil 6 isn't bad. It's just, like, people... I don't know. I can talk about this all day, but these 2 games, they're still good. Fun as hell co-op on this. Super fun. This game was decent to solid. I still had fun playing this game. Yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. Are they my least favorite Resident Evil games of the series besides Umbrella Corps, which I never played? Yes, they are my least favorite. Are they bad? No. Still good games. Almost great games in some people's eyes. So, that's all I wanted to say. Peace out.